You might be wondering why the heck somebody would compare two seemingly random racing movies. While they're both based on a true story, the stories are admittedly quite different. One movie plays in the 1960s and the other one in 2015. But they have one thing that's exactly the same. Both these movies feature a 24-hour Le Mans race in the final act. And the reason for this video is that one movie made me feel very exciting during the race, and the other movie made me feel nothing. So join me in this analysis, while I break down which movie did racing so much better and why. Gran Turismo throws us into the story of Jann Mardenborough, a talented young gamer who dominates the Gran Turismo racing simulator. Through a revolutionary program, Jann's virtual skills translate into real-world racing, propelling him from his everyday life to the prestigious world of professional motorsport. On the other hand, we have Ford versus Ferrari, taking us back to the 1960s. We witness the iconic clash between the automotive giants Ford and Ferrari. Matt Damon stars as Carroll Shelby, a visionary car designer, and Christian Bale portrays Ken Miles, the fearless driver they entrust with building a revolutionary Ford race car. Together they battle corporate limitations, their own egos, and the boundaries of physics to conquer the legendary 24 hours of Le Mans and dethrone Ferrari.
That's my girl, that's my girl!
Both films boast impressive visuals. Gran Turismo brings the world of the game Gran Turismo to life, blurring the lines between gameplay and cinematic experience. Ford vs Ferrari throws us right into the action with heart-pounding race sequences that showcase the raw power and danger of these incredible machines. Now, I watch a fair share of motorsport in real life, my favorite being Formula 1. And I've also played many racing games, so I know how racing works and looks in real life. In real life, the main reason why a race is boring is mostly down to not much overtaking being done or one driver simply dominating the race. So if anything, a race in a movie that can script the drama and doesn't have to capture the footage live should be a lot more exciting than real life, right? But what makes a race in real life exciting? What makes it more than just a couple of cars driving around in a circle? It's the context. When I watch a Ferrari fighting for first place against Red Bull in Formula 1, it's very exciting because I know that in the last couple of years, Red Bull basically dominated every race. When somebody else watches the same race without context, he just sees a red car fighting a blue car and doesn't think more of it. Now take a look at the context for the 24-hour Le Mans race in these two movies.
We got to prove to them, we got to prove to everyone that we belong by placing on the podium at Le Mans with a team of sim drivers.
We're gonna build a race car, and we're gonna bury that goddamn greasy wop 100 feet deep under the finish line at Le Mans.
And how long did you tell them that you needed? 200, 300 years?
90 days.
Do you see the difference? In one movie, the Le Mans race is set up as the be-all and end-all goal for the Ford team. Very early on, the goal is set for Carroll Shelby, and that's to develop a car that can beat Ferrari at the legendary 24-hour Le Mans race. That's what Ford needs to survive as a company. In Gran Turismo, the 24-hour Le Mans race was never really planned. Jann had an unexpected crash, Nissan then thinks about shutting the sim racer program down, and 1.5 hours into the movie they come up with the idea to try and win at Le Mans. Which context do you think gives the final race at Le Mans more weight? For me, it's 100% Ford versus Ferrari.
This car wants to go faster. I feel it.
Another aspect that makes the racing more exciting in Ford vs Ferrari is that this movie is not just about the driver on track, but it's just as much about the drivers and the team's ability to develop a car. Especially at a 24-hour race, it's just as much about developing a car that can race for that long. They start with a shit car, work on improving it, have a race, work on improving it, have another race, and continue improving it until it's finally time for Le Mans. And then we'll see if all the hard work paid off. And it's not just generic working on the car montages. We can actually watch them face very specific challenges and then figuring out a way to overcome them.
Instead of swapping out the pads, swap out the entire braking system.
We're allowed to do that.
This cycle of racing and improving makes every race feel so exciting, and when they win, all the effort is paid off. In Gran Turismo, the car is basically irrelevant. The car is given to them by Nissan. We never really get to know the pit crew, or know if there even is any development on the car. And at the Le Mans race, the car is actually entirely different.
This car, a lot lighter, a
lot faster than the GTRs you've been driving.
Here it's all about the driver, and at the beginning while they are evaluating different drivers in the academy, that makes sense. But when it comes to the real race, they really miss out on that entire aspect of car development that usually adds to the excitement of motorsport. They actually mention how experienced Jann is at tuning the car in the game, so it would have been awesome to see some of that being applied to the real car.
Sorry, I'm just adjusting the rear wing, giving it more downforce.
And to top it all off, the movie Ford vs Ferrari also nails the details of on-track racing, while Gran Turismo falls a bit short. In Gran Turismo, there are sadly some of those typical action movie racing tropes, where you have, for example, two cars on the straight, they go the same speed, and then one car, I guess, just presses the gas pedal harder and suddenly goes faster. And in action movies, I guess that's fine, but if you're watching a movie that's about racing and you're immersed in the race, and you see that happening, it kind of breaks the immersion, because you're like, how did that car suddenly go faster? And if there's a reason for that being able to happen, I as a viewer want to know why that overtake was possible. And that's exactly what Ford vs Ferrari gets so right. There we also have several scenes where a car overtakes another car on the straight. But they always make sure to give you the context of why that overtake was possible. Maybe the other car was having to manage its engine heat, and Ken Miles just takes more risk and revs his engine higher, which allows him to go faster on the straight. It never breaks the immersion and always keeps the racing feeling real. And that's why, especially in these racing movies, those details matter. Don't get me wrong, I think Gran Turismo is a good movie, and I think it achieved what it wanted to achieve. The way that they blend real cinematic footage with classical racing game animation is amazing. It just falls short in the setup of its final race and doesn't manage to capture the excitement of becoming one with the car and showing the drama on track when compared to Ford vs Ferrari. But now it's time for your opinion. Which movie did you enjoy more? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.